हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you very much for your kind association. Let's get started with our Bhakti Vaibhav study of Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam. Let's begin with our Mangalacharan prayers. Om अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। तथैव चान्ये नरलोकवीराय आहवे कृष्णमुखारविन्दं नेत्रैः पिबन्तो नयनाभिरामं पार्थास्त्रपूतापदमापुरस्य अहो पखीयं स्तनकालकूटं जिघ्रांसयापाय यदप्यसाध्भिः लेभे गतिं धात्री उचितां ततोऽन्यं कं वा दयालुं शरणं व्रजेम। अशेषसङ्क्लेशशमं विधत्ते गुणानुवाद श्रवणं मुरारे, किं वा पुनस्तच्चरणारविन्द परागसेवारतिरात्मलब्धा। सोऽहं नृणां क्षुल्यसुखाय दुःखं महद्गतानां विरमाय तस्य प्रवर्तये भागवतं पुराणं यदाह साक्षात् भगवान् ऋषिभ्यः। त्वं भक्तियोगपरिभावितरित्सरोज आस्ये श्रुते क्षितपथो ननु नाथ पुंसां यद्यद्धियात उरुगाय विभावयन्ति तत्तद्वपु प्रणयसे सदनुग्रहाय। सोऽसावदभ्रकरुणो भगवान् विवृद्ध प्रेम स्मितेन नयनाम्बुरुहं विजिह्वम् उत्थाय विश्वविजयाय च नो विषादम् माध्व्यागिरापनयतात् पुरुषः पुराणः। ससर्जाग्रन्थतामिस्रं मथत्तामिस्रमादिकृत् महामोहं च मोहं च तमश्चाज्ञानवृत्तयः। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, dear devotees. We are reading from Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 8, entitled Manifestation of Lord Brahma from Lord Shri Garbhodakshai Vishnu. And we are supposed to start from text 6. Shri Maitreya Muni is speaking about the glories of Lord Vishnu and the divine appearance of Lord Brahma, who is called Aja because he does not have a material birth like we do. He appears directly from Garbhodakshay Vishnu. Text 6. मुहुर्गृणन्तो वचसानुराग स्खलत् पदेनास्य कृतानि तज्ञाः किरीटसाहस्रमणि प्रवेक Pradyotitoddama sahasram. Translations and purports by our beloved founder Acharya, His Divine Grace, Shri Srimad Abhay Charanarvind Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation of verse 3.8.6. Sri Maitreya Muni is telling Mahatma Vidur, the four Kumaras headed by Sanat Kumar, who all knew the transcendental pastimes of Lord Vishnu, glorified the Lord in rhythmic accents with selected words full of affection and love. At that time, Lord Sankarshan, with his thousands of raised hoods, Fana Sahasram, began to radiate an effulgence from the glowing stones on his head. Mani Praveka. Lord Sankarshan, with his thousands of raised hoods, he began to radiate an effulgence. Purport. The Lord is sometimes addressed as Uttama Shlok, which means one who is worshipped with selected words by the devotees. There are so many beautiful verses in the Vedic literatures glorifying Krishna. Therefore, Krishna is called Uttama Shlok, one who is glorified by the most beautiful verses. A profusion of such selected words comes from a devotee who is fully absorbed in affection and love for the devotional service of the Lord. This is very important. We should accept the poetry of those devotees who have devotion and love for Krishna. We should not accept poetry written by mundane lyricists and mundane poets who also sing mundane songs, who also write mundane songs. So even in Bollywood, there are certain songs about Radha and Krishna, and these should not be sung when we have kirtan with the devotees. We should sing songs that have been composed by pure devotees like Srila Narottam Das Thakur, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, Srila Lochan Das Thakur, like that. Prabhupada says, such selected words come from devotee who is fully absorbed in affection and love for Krishna. That is the criteria, that it should be a premi bhakta. In the last sentence, Srila Prabhupada says, in other words, without the development of fine affection and love, one cannot offer prayers to the Lord very suitably. You see, Prabhupada is very clear. One cannot offer prayers to Krishna unless one is a sincere and advanced devotees. That's why in Srimad Bhagavatam, we focus on studying the prayers of pure devotees like Gajendra, like the gopis. So many beautiful prayers are there. There are the prayers of the Prachetas. There are prayers offered by Akrur and so many other devotees. Prahlad Maharaj offered prayers. So these prayers we really repeat. Brahmaji offered prayers in the 10th canto. So these prayers are important because they have been spoken by devotees who are actually seeing Krishna and who have realized Krishna. Text 7. Proktam kilaitad bhagavattamena nivritti dharma bhiratayatena sanat kumara yasachaha prishtaha Sankhyayanayanga Lord Sankarshan thus spoke the purport of Srimad Bhagavatam to the great sage Sanat Kumar, who had already taken the vow of renunciation. Nivritti Dharma. Sanat Kumar also in his turn then inquired, was when inquired of by Shri Sankhyayana Muni explained Srimad Bhagavatam as he had heard it from Lord Sankarshan. So Lord Sankarshan heard Srimad Bhagavatam from, beg your pardon, Lord Sankarshan is the Supreme Lord. Lord Sankarshan spoke Srimad Bhagavatam to Sanat Kumar. Sanat Kumar spoke it to Shri Sankhyayana Muni. Purport. This is the way of Parampara system. Although Sanat Kumar, the well-known great saintly Kumar, was in the perfect stage of life, still he heard the message of Srimad Bhagavatam from Lord Sankarshan. Similarly, when he was questioned by Sri Sankhyayana Rishi, he spoke to him the same message he had heard from Lord Sankarshan. This is Parampara. You hear from the perfect source, Srila Prabhupada, and you repeat it to others. This is such a simple method we have. And Prabhupada has heard it perfectly from Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, who heard from Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj and Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur. So like that, this is the Parampara system. Without hearing nicely, one cannot preach, Prabhupada says. First, we have to read and hear nicely. Prabhupada says in the purport, unless one hears from the proper authority, one cannot become a preacher. In devotional service, therefore, 2 items out of 9, Navavida Bhakti, 2 items are very important. Hearing and chanting. Hearing and chanting. Most important. And of these 2, which is the most important? तार मध्य सर्वश्रेष्ठ नाम संकीर्तन. मेरा अपराध है नाम ले ले पावे प्रेमधन. But to do Nam Sankirtan, first we have to hear. Otherwise, how you will get the mantra? Somebody has to preach the glories of the Mahamantra, teach us the Mahamantra. Then we can chant. Therefore, Shravanam first comes. Text 8. Sankhyayana paramahamsya mukhyo vivakshamaano bhagavad vibhutihi jagadasosmad Guravenvitaya Parasharayatha Brihaspatescha. The great sage Sankhyayana was the chief amongst the transcendentalists, and when he was describing the glories of the Lord in terms of Srimad Bhagavatam, it so happened that my spiritual master Sri Parashara Muni and Brihaspati both heard him. So this is the parampara of Maitreya Muni. The Supreme Lord is Lord Sankarshan. He spoke to Chatush Kumar, headed by Sanat Kumar. Sanat Kumar spoke to Sri Sankhyayana Muni. Sri Sankhyayana Rishi spoke to Parashar Muni and Brihaspati. And Maitreya Muni's guru is Parashar Muni. Remember, Maitreya Muni is a friend of Vyasdev, and his guru is Parashar Muni, the father of Vyasdev. So Parashar Muni heard from Sankhyayan Muni, who heard from Sanat Kumar, who heard from the Supreme Lord, Sri Sankarshan. Text 9. प्रोवाच मह्यं सदयालुरुक्तो मुनि पुलत्स्तेन पराणमाद्यं सोऽहं तव तत् कथयामि वत्स श्रद्धालवे नित्यमनुव्रताय. The great sage Sri Parashar Muni, as aforementioned, being so advised by the great sage Pulastya, spoke unto me the foremost of the Puranas, Srimad Bhagavatam. I shall also describe this before you, my dear son, in terms of my hearing, because you are always my faithful follower. Because you are always my faithful follower. Shraddha lave nityam anuvrataya. Shraddha lave. One who is faithful. And anuvrataya, one who is following behind. Nityam, always. You are always my faithful follower. That's why I will speak to you. Shri Maitreya Muni is telling Vidur. Purport. The great sage of the name Pulastya is the father of all demoniac descendants. Pulastya also is the grandfather of Ravan and Kumbhakarna. Once upon a time, Sri Parashar Muni began a sacrifice in which all the demons were to be burnt to death because his father had been killed and devoured by one of them. The great sage Vasishtha Muni arrived at the sacrifice and requested Sri Parashar Muni to stop the deadly action. And because of Vasishtha's position and respect in the community of sages, Sri Parashar Muni could not deny the request. So Parashar Muni was performing a sacrifice where all the demons were going to be killed, which would have been very good for the universe. But Vasishtha Muni came and requested, don't do this. Because there is a reason why Krishna has allowed demons to be in existence. What is the reason? If Krishna wants, he can just make sure that there are no demons alive at all. But by Krishna's arrangements, the demons exist. Why? Ete cham sakala pumsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam Indra Ari Vyakulam Lokam Mridayanti Yuge Yuge. If demons are not there, then the devotees will not become Vyakul and call out to Krishna. Indrari Vyakulam Lokam Mridayanti Yuge. Then Yuge Yuge Krishna comes. Sambhavami Yuge Yuge. So demons also have their role to play, which means problems have a role to play in our life. If our life was without problems, then we will become very complacent, like Sugriv became when life suddenly became comfortable. No more Vali. He had the kingdom, he had all the money, he had his wife, he had all the servants. He became completely forgetful of Lord Ramchandra. That is what will happen to us if we are very comfortable in life. Therefore, Krishna gives problems to the devotee. Actually, at the time of initiation, all the sins, all the prarabdha by bhakti is all destroyed. Divya jnanam yatodadyat kuryat papasa sankshanam tasmat diksheti saprota deshike tattva kovidai. All the Covid, those who know the truth, they understand that at a time of diksha, di means divya jnana. And ksha means kuryat papasa sankshanam. Ite diksheti saprokta. That is called diksha, where all your sins are destroyed and you get divine knowledge. So then why do we suffer if all our sins are gone at the time of diksha? The reason is because sufferings in life keep us from becoming complacent. Problems in life make us serious in Krishna consciousness. When there is some problem in life, then we tell devotees, Prabhu, Mataji, please pray for me. Please pray for me. How many times we have told devotees to pray for us when everything is going good? With that sincerity, with that dependence, doesn't happen. So therefore, for our benefit, Krishna has placed problems in our life, although we don't like it. Nobody likes problems. But problems, somehow, the conditioned souls become Krishna conscious when they have problems. If Dushasan had not pulled Draupadi's sari, she would not have cried the way she cried out to Krishna. Agre kurunam atha pandavanam Dushasanena ritavastra Krishna tadakroshadananyanatha Govinda damodara madhaveti. So Vasishtha Muni, inspired by Krishna, came there and told Parashar Muni to stop the sacrifice where all the demons are going to be destroyed. And Parashar Muni stopped the sacrifice. Then Pulatsya, the father of the demons, appreciated his Brahminical temperament and gave the blessing that in the future he would be a great speaker of the Vedic literature called the Puranas. So Pulastya Muni is the forefather of the demons. The demons were getting killed. by Parashar Muni. So Pulastya Muni came, and for his vested interest, he told him, stop the sacrifice. All my descendants will be destroyed. And Vashishta Muni came and said, and then Parashar Muni listened to Vashishta Muni, and because he listened, the demon survived. So Pulastya Muni became happy that now my descendants are saved. Because Parashar um, Muni listened to Vashishta Muni. So then this Pulastya Muni gave blessings to Parashar Muni that he will become a great speaker of Srimad Bhagavatam or the Puranas. As a great speaker of the Puranas, Parashar first of all spoke on the Srimad Bhagavat Puran because it is the foremost of all Puranas. Maitreya Muni desired to narrate the same Bhagavatam he had learned from Parashar Muni, and Vidur was qualified to hear it because of his faithfulness and because of Anuvrata, following the instructions. So Srimad Bhagavatam was being narrated from time immemorial by the disciplic succession even before the time of Vyasdev. I want all of you to note this down. Srila Prabhupada explains that this proves because Parashar Muni heard Srimad Bhagavatam also. And he spoke it to Maitreya Muni. So even before Vyasdev, Srimad Bhagavatam was there. Srimad Bhagavatam is eternal. So we should not think that Srimad Bhagavatam came into existence just 5,000 years ago. No. Text 10. Udaplutam vishvam idam tadasi yannidrayami litadrin nyamilayat ahindratalpe dishayanayeka kritakshana swatmaratau niriha. At that time, when the three worlds were submerged in water, Garbhodakshay Vishnu was alone lying on his bedstead. The great snake Ananta Dev, and although he appeared to be in slumber in his own internal potency, free from the action of external energy, his eyes were not completely closed. So Garbhodakshay Vishnu was alone, lying on the bed of Anantashesh. Purport. Lord Vishnu is eternally enjoying transcendental bliss by his internal potency. This internal potency is important. Bhagavan api taratri sharadotpulla mallika viksharantu manachakre. Who knows the last line? Who knows the last line? Raise your hand. Bhagavan api taratri sharadotpulla mallika viksharantu manachakre yoga maya upashrita. The Ras Panchadhyay begin with this verse. So the whole Ras Leela took place under Yoga Maya. So here also it is said that Krishna performs his pastimes under his internal potency, Yoga Maya. Text 11. Swanta sharire ripita Swanta sharire ripita bhuta sukshma kalatmikam shaktim udirayana uvasa tasmin salile padesve yatha nalodaruniruddha viryaha. Just like the strength of fire within fuel wood, Lord Vishnu remained within the water of dissolution, submerging all the living entities in their subtle bodies, sukshma. He lay in the self-invigorated energy called Kal. Kal. After the three worlds, the upper, middle, and lower planetary systems merged into the water of dissolution. The living entities of all the three worlds remained in their subtle bodies by dint of the energy called Kal. So we know there are three bodies. There is the gross body, there is the subtle body, and there is the spiritual body. The gross body is for one lifetime. The subtle body is as long as we are in the material universe. And the spiritual body is eternal. Right now it is covered, but it is eternal. So when the upper, middle, and lower planetary systems are destroyed, Our gross bodies are destroyed, but our subtle body still exists, consisting of the mind, intelligence, and ego. But it's lying in a dormant stage. It's like the software is there is no hardware. Software cannot manifest anything. But when the creation takes place, then we are given a hardware. Then the software can do so many things. It can print, can reproduce, it can do so many things. But the software is there, even when the hardware is destroyed. You just have to download it in a new body. So the soul remains with the subtle body as long as we are in the material world. But when we get mukti, when we leave the material world, then the subtle body gets dissolved in the subtle elements. Mind, intelligence, false ego, it gets dissolved in these subtle elements. Because remember, the Brahmanda also has the coverings of all the elements, including the subtle elements, five gross elements and three subtle elements. So the mind merges in the mind, which is a prakriti of Krishna. Bhinna prakriti ashtada includes manobuddhi revacha ahankarityam bhinna prakriti ashtada. So in this way, our false ego, our mind, intelligence, all gets merged in the subtle elements, and only the pure soul ascends to the spiritual world. So here it is said that even when everything was unmanifest, the gross bodies were not there, but the jivas, living entities, were present with their subtle bodies. So Prabhupada says, in this dissolution, the gross bodies become unmanifest, but the subtle bodies existed, just like the water of the material creation. Thus, the material energy was not completely wound up, as is the case in the full dissolution of the material world. So when the full dissolution of the material world takes place, when Lord Mahavishnu inhales and everything is destroyed, at that time, even the subtle bodies don't exist individually. All the elements, they become amalgamated into the Mahatattva, which is taken inside Mahavishnu. And then everything remains dormant in the body of Mahavishnu. The jivas and all the material things. Then when there is a need of creation, again the Mahatattva comes out, and then Lord Mahavishnu impregnates the Mahatattva with the jivas. So this we have to understand. Text 12. Chaturyuganam cha sahasramapsu swapan स्वयोदीरितया स्वशक्त्या कालाख्यया साधितकर्मतन्त्रो लोकानपीतान् ददृशे स्वदेहे. Lord Vishnu lay down for 4,000 yuga cycles in his internal potency, and by his external energy, he appeared to be sleeping within the water. When the living entities were coming out for further development of their karma, the fruitive activities, actuated by the energy called Kala Shakti, Lord Vishnu saw his transcendental body as bluish. In the Vishnu Puran, Kala Shakti is mentioned as avidya. Kala Shakti means avidya. The symptom of influence of Kala Shakti is that one has to work in the material world for fruitive results. The fruitive workers are described in Srimad Bhagavad Gita as moodhas or foolish. Such foolish living entities are very enthusiastic to work for some temporary benefit within the perpetual bondage. Antavattu phalam tesham tad bhavati alpamethasam. Due to this polluted mentality, further down, and due to material sins, the aggregate combination of living entities appear to be bluish because of the material sins and pollution. Such an impetus of activity for fruitive result is made possible by the dictation of the external energy of the Lord called Kala Shakti. So Kala Shakti is the impetus for activity. Avidya. If we have Vidya, then why we want to do Karma Kand? Why we want to engage in the material world? No. We would want to engage in the spiritual world where there is a karma. But we engage in karma because of avidya. Text 13. Tasyartha sukshma bhinivishta drishter antargator thorajasa taniyan gunena kalanugatena vidha sushyam stadabhidyatana bhidesha. The subtle subject matter of creation on which Lord Vishnu's attention was fixed was agitated by the material modes of passion, and thus the subtle form of creation pierced through his abdomen. So when the Lord fixes attention on creation, then agitated by the modes of passion, the subtle form of creation pierced through Lord Vishnu's abdomen in its subtle form. Sapadmakosha sahasodatiष्ठत् कालेन कर्म प्रतिबोधनेन स्वरोचिषास्तत्सलिलं विशालं विद्योतयन् अर्क इवात्मयोनि. Piercing through this sum total form of the fruitive activities of the living entities took the shape of the bud of a lotus flower generated from the personality of Godhead, Shri Vishnu. And by his supreme will, it illuminated everything like the sun and dried up the vast waters of devastation. The sum total of the fruitive activities of all living entities took the shape of a bud of a lotus flower and generated from Garbhodaksha Vishnu. Sapadma Kosha. And Kalena Karma Pratibodhanena. It is the awakening of all the cumulative desires, karma of the jivas that this material manifestation manifests. So, what is the reason for the creation of the material world? All of us, because we have material desires. That's why this material world is required. Text 15. Talloka padmam sau eva Vishnu pravish pravivish pravivishat sarvagunavabhasam tasmin swayam vedamayo vidhata swayam bhuvam yam smavadanti sobhut. Into that universal lotus flower, Lord Vishnu personally entered as the super soul. And when it was thus impregnated with all the modes of material nature, Sattva gun, Rajagun, Tamagun, the personality of Vedic wisdom, whom we call Aja, Swayambhuva, self-born, was generated. Who is this self-born personality? Lord Brahma. Purport. The lotus flower is the universal Virat form. This lotus flower that comes out of Garbhodaksha Vishnu is the universal Virat form, Prabhupada said, the gigantic form of the Lord in the material world, Virat Roop. It becomes amalgamated in the personality of Godhead Vishnu in his abdomen at the time of dissolution. And it becomes manifest at the time of creation. This is due to Garbhodaksha Vishnu, who enters into each of the universes. In this form is the sum total of all the fruitive activities of all the jivas, living entities, conditioned by material nature. All the conditioned souls, their fruitive activity, their desire for karma is all there. And the first of them, namely Lord Brahma, or the controller of the universe, is generated from this lotus flower. This firstborn living entity, unlike all the others, has no material father and no material mother. Thus, he is called self-born or Swayambhu. He goes to sleep with Narayan at the time of devastation. Hare Krishna. And when there is another creation, he is born in this way. From this description, we have the conception of three: the gross Virat form, the subtle Hiranyagarbha, and the creative force, Brahma. Hiranyagarbha means Garbhodaksha Vishnu. So in this way, things exist. Brahmaji is born from Garbhodaksha Vishnu. And that lotus flower is the sum total of all material elements, the Virat Roop. Text 16. Tasyam sachambho ruhakarnikayam avasthito lokamapashyamana परिक्रमं व्योम्निवृत्तनेत्राश्चत्वारि लेभेनुदिशं मुखानि. Lord Brahma, born out of the lotus flower, could not see the world, although he was situated in the world. He therefore circumambulated all of space, and while moving his eyes in all directions, he achieved four heads in terms of the four directions. So Brahmaji was born from the lotus flower coming from Garbhodaksha Vishnu. There was darkness everywhere. Brahmaji could not see. So he looked in all the four directions and four heads manifested. Text 17. Tasmadyuganta श्वसनावघूर्णा जलोर्मिचक्रात् सलिलाद्विरूढम् उपाश्रितः कञ्जमुलोकतत्त्वम् नात्मानमद्भाविदधत् आदिदेवः. Lord Brahma, situated in that lotus, could not perfectly understand the creation, the lotus, or himself. At the end of the millennium, the air of devastation began to move the water and the lotus in great circular waves. Lord Brahma was perplexed about his creation, Srila Prabhupada writes. The lotus and the world, even though he tried to understand. So even Brahmaji, when he was born, he could not understand. He was bewildered. Where am I? What's going on? What is this lotus? What is this water of devastation? What's going on here? He could not figure it out. This material world is very difficult to figure out. How we can think that I can figure it out? Hmm? So therefore, we should always be under the guidance of senior Vaishnavas. Hmm? It's very important. We should not think ourselves to be very enlightened. Always good to be under the guidance of a senior Vaishnava and take permission, take guidance. One person or few devotees who are relatively new, but somehow they are in a place where there are no senior devotees. So they have become the leaders, management leaders now, and many deviations. In the ISKCON temple, doing Saraswati Puja, doing Saraswati Puja on the day of Saraswati Puja, doing worship of Lord Shiva on Shivratri, and now asking the congregation to raise funds for a local Hindu temple because they want to have some Bollywood style dance program. This is Srila Prabhupada's ISKCON. This is the movement of Srila Rupa Goswami, Srila Raghunath Das Goswami, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur. What are we doing? So we have to be very careful. All this is happening because there is no senior guiding them. If small second grade kids are left without a teacher, second standard kids, what they will do? They will keep talking, fighting with each other. Hai. Because there's no teacher. As soon as a teacher comes with a ruler in her hand, shh, quiet, everybody pin drop silence. So similarly, devotees, they may be initiated, they may be 5-6 years into Krishna consciousness, but they are not trained properly. They need training. They need guidance about these things. So therefore, there's a system. Therefore, there should be a counselor system. There should be a mentorship program where devotees are under some mentor who is spiritually well situated, who can guide them. The mentor may not be a pure devotee. Guru Maharaj is a pure devotee. The mentor may not be a pure devotee, but he is in 5th, 6th grade at least. So he can help the second graders come up to 5th grade. By the time they come up to 5th grade, it is a duty of this mentor to go to 10th grade. He also or she also has to keep upgrading. So many times I see so many devotees, few years ago, they were taking guidance from me. And they have become so advanced. They're chanting more rounds than me. They're doing more ashtakams than me, reading more than me, hearing more than me, following the four regulative principles better than me. They don't waste time. They don't watch anything material. They are doing so many services. They are so fixed up, so enthusiastic. Because maybe I was in third grade and they were in first grade, but now they have, because of the sincerity, they have gone to fifth grade, and I've gone down to first grade. My bhakti is going down. So that should not happen. We have to be careful. But it is a duty that new devotees should be under a proper guide, and the guide should keep upgrading himself or herself. So that as the devotees make advancement, he or she is still qualified to guide them. Otherwise, if they go ahead, you are somewhere behind in your journey to Golok Vrindavan. Then how you can guide them, because they are where you have not been there yet. So then they will ask questions about things that even you have not read. They will ask you something about some bhajan of Srila Bhaktivinoda which you have only not read. They will ask you about fourth canto something. You have not reached fourth canto. You are still on second canto. How you are going to guide them? So then you should, if that happens, you should give them to somebody else. That Prabhu or Mataji, I guided you when I was able to. I think you are doing good, but I am a second grade teacher. Now you have reached fifth grade level. You need a new teacher. So you take guidance from this mentor. So in this way, we can hand over. If the devotees are, they have made advancement and we feel that they are really well situated now, there's nothing I can add to them. But generally, this should not happen. We have to all keep moving. If we are here, they are here. By the time they come here, we should also be here. So we continue to guide them like that. But sometimes some devotees are very sincere, and they make a lot of advancement also. And we should celebrate that. We should encourage that. But hand them over to somebody else who is more qualified to guide them. But it's important to be under the guidance of a superior. Even Brahmaji could not figure out what he's supposed to do. So if Brahmaji is bewildered in this material world, how we can figure out things? We cannot figure out things. So Prabhupada says, no one therefore can know the mystery of the creation and cosmic manifestation simply by mental speculation. The human being is so limited in his capacity that without the help of the Supreme, he can hardly understand the mystery of the will of the Lord Krishna in terms of creation, maintenance, and destruction. Krishna has his plan. That person can become Guru who understands Krishna's plan. Jai Krishna Tattvetta, say Guru hai. When Sripad Ramanujacharya came to Navadvip and had darshan of Lord Gauranga Mahaprabhu, Sripad Ramanujacharya said, I am also going to teach Manjari Bhav now. I am also going to preach Hare Krishna Mahamantra. But Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, no, that's not what I want you to do. I want you to teach Vishnu Bhakti, Narayana Upasana, Vaikuntha Bhava, Aishwaryamaya Bhakti. I have a plan. Teach them about Vaishnava Seva. Then I will come in the future and I will build upon what you have already taught. So Sripad Madhvacharya had a role to play. Sripad Ramanujacharya had a role to play. All the acharyas like that. So, but Acharya is one who understands Krishna's plan. We don't understand Krishna's plan. You know? So, like that, His Holiness Chandramauli Maharaj tells that famous story. Many of you must have heard. That there was one sweeper in the temple. He used to do Marjan Seva. And he used to talk to Krishna, to the temple of Krishna, Radha Krishna temple. So he used to do broom service. He was a cleaner, and he developed such a friendly relation with Radha Krishna that he used to talk to them. And one day he told jokingly to Krishna, Krishna, your job is very easy. You are just standing in the threefold bending form with the flute, playing flute with Radharani and enjoying your pastimes. Your work is very easy. Look at me, my work is so difficult. I have to clean. Devotees keep coming. They wash their feet outside and then they walk inside, chip, 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 chip. Everything becomes wet and I have to clean, mop. All the mud comes inside. I'm so busy. And look at the people who come to take your darshan. They also have so many responsibilities, so much work. Your job is super easy. Standing there. So Krishna says, you want to see how difficult my job is? You come and you stand behind me for one day. Hide behind me. And see, you hear what prayers the devotees offer me and how I manage everything. It's so difficult. So this is just a story that His Holiness Chandramauli Swami Maharaj told to illustrate a point. We can use these stories. These are stories to illustrate a point. Not that this actually happened, but these are stories, kind of allegorical story. We can understand Krishna's role from this. So this devotee stood behind Krishna for one day. And Krishna told, you just observe. You don't, I am doing everything. You just watch how I do what I do. You don't speak in the middle. Okay, okay, I'll stand. I want to see what you do. Whole day standing from Brahma, from Mangal Arti to Shayan Arti, what you do, I want to see. So Krishna gives him the power where he can stand behind Krishna. Nobody will be able to see, and he is able to hear all the prayers of all the devotees. So first, uh, uh, a businessman comes and he offers his obeisances to Radha Krishna. And he says, my dear Radha Krishna, I am going on a voyage on a ship. So I seek your blessings. Please let my voyage be safe. And he offers pranam. So his wallet falls down when he offers pranam. He doesn't realize it. He gets up and he goes. And this um, devotee sweeper who's standing behind Krishna is thinking, oh, Krishna, tell him he dropped his wallet. He's going on the voyage. It may have his ID, credit card, money, ticket. He bichara dropped his wallet. Tell him, Krishna, why are you just standing like this, not doing anything? But Krishna is just standing. So he bichara, that businessman goes, not realizing he just dropped his wallet in the temple. Then a poor man comes and he offers obeisances to Krishna, says, Krishna, I am starving. My family doesn't have money. I beg on the streets, but not much charity is being given to me. Please, please have mercy on me. Give me money. Give me money. Right? He sees the wallet right there. Yes, Krishna, you answered my prayer. He gives the wallet and starts going. Then, mm, then another man comes and sorry, the first person who came was a rich businessman who dropped the wallet. I heard this story many, many years ago in Radha Gopinath Mandir. So first person who came was a rich businessman who dropped the wallet. The second person who came was the beggar, the poor fellow who picked up that wallet. Third person who came is a person who is going on a cruise. He's going on a voyage. So he's asking Krishna that please let my voyage be good. And as he's offering prayers, let my voyage be good, that businessman comes, the first person who dropped his wallet. He comes and he says, oh, I dropped my wallet here somewhere when I offered obeisances. And he calls the police and calls the security. He says, I dropped my wallet here. Who has taken it? Who has taken it? And only that person who is about to go on the voyage is there. So he says, he only must have taken it. Catch him, catch him. So the police security catch him and start beating him. That you taken the wallet, give the wallet, give the wallet. He says, I don't know what wallet talking about. I have not taken it. I'm innocent. Start hitting him. And they put him behind bars. So now this sweeper cannot take it anymore. He jumps out from behind Radha Gopinath. He said, this is nonsense. Krishna is not doing anything. Let me take matters in my own hands. Such a simple thing. This wallet was dropped by the first person, the businessman. Yes, it is his wallet. And there is a poor beggar outside. He came and stole that wallet. Go catch him. And this boatman, this voyager who is going on a voyage, he's innocent. Leave him. I have seen everything. So the security go and they find that beggar there with the wallet. They catch him. They start beating him and they put him behind bars. And this sweeper comes back to Radha Gopinath, says, Dekho, it was a 5-minute thing. You have to just speak up. Problem is you don't speak up. You have to speak. So I spoke. I have put everything clear now. The culprits have been arrested. The innocent have been released. So Krishna says, you're a fool. You messed up everything. The businessman who came first, who dropped his wallet, is a corrupt fellow. He has cheated so many poor people and made money. Therefore, to punish him, I made him drop his wealth. That poor beggar is a devotee of mine. Every day he comes, and whatever alms he gets, he gives a donation to me out of that. He's such an honest man. And he needed money for some medical health. His family members are not well. They are sick. They have to be taken to doctor. So to help him, I gave him that money, which belonged to the fellow who is he has got all black money. I took some money from him and I gave it to the beggar who is my devotee, who needs it. And that sailor who is about to embark on a voyage, he just committed a murder. And to escape the police, he is going on an international voyage to leave the country. And therefore, I made him get caught by the police so that he'll get some punishment for at least thievery. And he will be under investigation, and then they will find out who the murderer is. And then he will go for a longer term. That's why I got the sailor arrested. Now you let the sailor, the murderer, go away scot-free. The poor devotee is in jail. And the corrupt businessman who has black money, he got his money back. Very good. This is your intelligence. This is our 1000cc brain. But Krishna is the creator of Lord Brahma's brain. Krishna is most intelligent. So we should trust Krishna's plan. And we should not think that we can figure it out. So Prabhupada says, no one can understand the mystery of Krishna's will. Krishna has his will and we should have faith. Text 18. Ka esha yosav ahamabja prishtha etat kuto vabja mananyadapsu asti adhastad iha kinchat naitad adhishtitam yatra satanubhavyam. Lord Brahma in his ignorance contemplated, who am I? That I am situated on top of this lotus. But what am I doing on top of this lotus? Who am I? Where from has this lotus sprouted? There must be something downwards. And that from which this lotus has grown must be within this huge body of water. Garbhodaka, Sagar, something. So Brahmaji is completely bewildered. He doesn't know who he is. He doesn't know where he is. He doesn't know where the lotus is coming from on which he took birth, purport. The subject matter of the speculations of Lord Brahma in the beginning regarding the creation of the cosmic manifestation is still a subject matter for mental speculators. So many scientists like Stephen Hawking and others, they speculate about the origin of the universe. They come up with theories. Prabhupada says it is a subject of speculation. But Srimad Bhagavatam describes exactly how this universe is created. All we have to do is read Srimad Bhagavatam. We don't even need to understand Sanskrit. Srila Prabhupada has translated into English, and then his disciples have translated into all the major languages of the world. How this creation took place, we don't have to depend on some theories. We can actually factually read how this universe is created. So everything is there. Text 19. Saitam udvikshatadabjanala nadi bhirantar jalama vivesha narva gatastad kharanala nala nabhim vichinvams tadavedatajaha avindatajaha. Lord Brahma, thus contemplating, entered the water through the channel of the stem of the lotus. Lord Brahmaji descended to figure out what is going on. He came down the stem of the lotus, entered the water underneath. But in spite of entering the stem and going nearer to the navel of Lord Vishnu, he could not trace out. He could not trace out the route. Purport. By dint of one's personal endeavor, one may go nearer to the Lord, but without Lord Krishna's mercy, one cannot reach the ultimate point. Such understanding of the Lord is possible only by devotional service as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. Bhaktyamam abhijananti, bhaktyamam abhijanati, yavaneschasmi tatvata. Only by bhakti, Krishna reveals himself. Otherwise, with our endeavors, we can be as powerful as Brahma. We can take birth on Garbhodaksha Vishnu's lotus coming from his navel. We may be the firstborn person, Adi Dev, but still we cannot figure out. Even Brahmaji could not figure out. How we can figure out? Text 20. Tamas apare viduratma sargam vichinvato bhut samaham trinemi यो देह भाजाम भयम ईरयानः परीक्षिणोत आयुरजस्य हेतिः. O Vidur, while searching in that way about his existence, Lord Brahma reached his ultimate time, which is the eternal wheel in the hand of Lord Vishnu, and which generates fear in the mind of the living entity, like the fear of death. So for a long time, Brahmaji kept searching but could not conclusively find the answer to his existential question: who am I? What is my purpose? Text 21. Tato nivritto pratilabdha kama swadhishnyam asadya punah sadeva shanairjita shvasa nivritta chitto nyashidadaruಢ samadhi yoga. Thereafter, being unable to achieve the desired destination, Lord Brahma retired from such searching and came back again to the top of the lotus. Thus, controlling all objectives, he concentrated his mind on the Supreme Lord. He could not figure out. Searched everywhere, went down the lotus stem, went to the root, could not find anything. Finally, came back again where he was born, came back to his birthplace on the lotus. And there he concentrated his mind on Lord Vishnu. Samadhi Yoga. Purport. Srila Prabhupada says, Samadhi involves concentrating the mind upon the supreme cause of all, even if one is unaware of whether his actual nature is personal, impersonal, or localized. Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagwaneti, Shabdate. The Supreme Lord is realized in three features. Even if we don't know which feature is the original, but still we should try to fix our mind on the Supreme Lord. To cease from such personal sense endeavors and to concentrate on the supreme cause is a sign of self-surrender. This is Sharanagati, to focus the mind on Krishna. And when self-surrender is present, that is a sure sign of devotional service. Shadanga Sharanagati hoibe jahar tahara prarthana shune Shrinanda Kumar. Krishna will listen to our prayers when we are surrendered. And surrender is a sign of bhakti. Each and every living entity needs to engage in devotional service to the Lord if he wishes to understand the ultimate cause of his existence. If we want answers to the essential questions of life, then we have to take to bhakti. There is no other way. Last verse, text 22. Kalena soja purushayushabhi pravritta yogena virudha bodha swayam tadantar hridayeva bhatam apashyatapashyatayanna purvam. At the end of Brahma's 100 years, when his meditation was complete, he developed the required knowledge. And as a result, he could see in his heart the Supreme Lord within himself, whom he could not see before, with the greatest endeavor. Hare Krishna. Purport. Srila Prabhupada says the Supreme Lord can be experienced only through the process of devotional service and not by one's personal endeavor in mental speculation. The age of Brahma is calculated in terms of Divya years. Shri Bhagavad Gita 8.17 says, Sahasra Yuga Paryantam Ahar Yad Brahmano Viduhu. Brahma's one day, Ahar, is equal to Sahasra Yuga, 1000 times the aggregate of the four yugas, calculated to be some 4.3 million years. On that basis, Brahma meditated for 100 years. 1 day is 4.3 million earthly years. Brahmaji meditated for 100 years like that before he could understand the supreme cause of all causes. And then he wrote the Brahma Samhita, which is approved and recognized by Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in which he sings Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. One has to wait for the mercy of the Lord before one can either render service unto him or know him as he is. Without Krishna's mercy, we really cannot understand him. Mam tu Vedana Kaschana. And only Krishna can reveal himself. Bhaktya Mam Abhijanati. And Krishna will reveal only through bhakti. So this Govindam Adi Purusham prayers, Brahma Samhita prayers, Brahmaji composed when he had darshan of Krishna after meditating on Krishna in Samadhi for 100 years. And therefore, Srila Prabhupada also gave us this prayer, Govindam Adi Purusham, to recite when we have darshan of the Supreme Lord every morning. In the Darshanarti, Shringararti, we sing Govindam Adi Purusham. That is a song when we have darshan of the Supreme Lord, Krishna. So in this way, bhakti can reveal Krishna to us, and to know Krishna is the aim of life. Yovam evam asamudho janati purushottama sa sarvavid bhajate mam sarva bhavena bharata. We can worship Krishna with bhav bhakti when we know him as a supreme personality of Godhead and surrender to him. And without surrender, there can be no devotion. We can say that I am a devotee of Krishna, but if we are not surrendered, we are not practicing anukulyasa sankalpaha pratikulya vivarjanam, then we are not devotees. This means that we should do what is favorable for Krishna and we should give up what is unfavorable to Krishna. That is a sign of Sharanagati, surrender, and surrender means devotion. Devotion is not something sentimental. Devotional service, it is very practical. One can see who is a sincere devotee. We also come to know whether we are sincere or not, and others also come to know who is a sincere devotee, who is not. It is visible. Kshantir kalapvam viraktir manashunyata. Those are the criteria. So we'll stop here. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol. Yes, Shamchandra Prabhu, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandat Pranam, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Happy Dwadashi to all.
Thank you, thank you.
Just broke the fast after Nirjala.
Hari Bol. Hari Bol.
Okay, so Prabhu, thanks for your wonderful session today. I have two questions actually. One is, it is mentioned that Pulastya Muni is the father of all the demons, correct? And we also studied that our demons, they originate from Diti, that is Diti and Kashyap Muni.
Yes.
So logically, Kashyap Muni becomes the father of all the demons also, correct?
Yes.
So how do we correlate between Pulastya Muni and Kashyap Muni? I mean, is it just that he is one of the four fathers and Kashyap Muni is the original father of the demons? Is it like that? Or
so Pulastya Muni is definitely the grandfather of Ravan and Kumbhakarna. But otherwise, I'll have to see the family tree, how he is connected to the other demons. But definitely, he was the grandfather of Ravan and Kumbhakarna, Pulastya Muni. So in that sense, and all the Rakshasas who lived with Ravan in Lanka, so they were all ultimately descendants or followers of the descendants of Pulastya Muni. So in that sense, we can say that he was the fourth.
And Prabhu, second question, just now we read that Brahma got the revelation after his 100 years. So Brahma's life also is 100 years of his 100 years. So once he got the revelation, then where is the question of his survival? Because his lifespan is also 100 years of his calculation.
Correct.
So then how do we understand this? Because he continues even now. And each time Brahma comes, it is only after the dissolution. And each time the revelation will happen after 100 years. So then it's like he understands that he gets the revelation, and then that's the end of his life also.
Yeah. So Prabhuji, here when I was reading, I also saw that, oh, 100 years he has meditated. Now what? Now is he going to die? Is he going to have to take another birth? But looks like after 100 years of bhakti, he was able to get divine knowledge, and based on that knowledge become the creator. So yes, it is a fact that Brahmaji lives for 100 years. So I don't know, but my understanding is that uh, initiation is the new birth. So his 100 years started from when he got initiated. Dvija, his second birth. First birth, yes, he was born on the lotus, but then he was in ignorance. Agyana timirandasya. And then when he got revelation, Divya Jnanam Yatodadyat Kuryat Papas Sankshanam Tasmat Diksheti Saprokta Deshike Sattva Kovidaya. So when he got his second birth in the form of initiation where Krishna revealed, then it seems like his activities have started and then they will last for 100 years. But that question came to me also, and I was expecting, okay, now is he going to die and then have to take another birth like Narad Muni, where he will become Narad. So next birth he will become Brahma. But it appears from Bhagavatam, as far as I have read, and we will continue to read. Maybe something will come up in the future verses. But as far as I saw, he continues and becomes Brahma. So we can reconcile it by thinking that initiation is also a new birth. So then he gets 100 years after that. But I don't know for sure. Is that okay,
Okay,
Rohit?
Prabhu. Hare
That was
Krishna.
my understanding when I read it.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Shama Vallavi Mataji, last question.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Prabhuji, on that basis, Brahma meditated for 100 years means in the bracket it is given calculated to be that 4,300,000 years means it is not, is it for 100 human years, Prabhuji?
No, that is Ahar. That is 1 day of Brahma. And then equal duration is his Nisha, his night. And there are 30 days in a month of Brahma. And each year of Brahma has 360 days. And like that, he lives for 100 years. So those, it seems that that is a time, 100 years, celestial years he meditated. So that number that is given, 3.4 million, is just his 1 day.
That is 1 day, Prabhuji, calculated to be that 443 followed by 5 zeros, that is one kalpana, 1 day of Brahma. So on
1000,
that basis, it is
1000 yugas, Divya yugas, which is one kalpa, 1 day of Brahma. Correct.
So because it is given on that basis, Brahma meditated means I understood as 100 human years, not like that.
No, 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 not 100 human years. Not 100 human years. That would be a very short time. It says, I mean, from what I heard, understood from the purport, let me see it again. But it was Brahmaji's years, is what I understood when I read it. Yeah. 100 years on that basis. Yeah. So at the end of Brahma's 100 years, see the verse. Kalena Saha Aja is Brahma, Purusha Ayusha, the duration of his age. He was engaged. So looks like it was Brahmaji's 100 years. And in the purport, Prabhupada says, no, that on the in the translation also, at the end of Brahma's 100 years, when his meditation was complete, he developed the required knowledge, where he could see Krishna. So it is Brahmaji's 100 years, not earthly 100 years.
Okay.
Hare Krishna. Bhagavati Vasudha Mataji, last question.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavas Pranam.
Hare
As Prabhuji, in the previous class, we were talking about the symptoms of a pure devotee, good devotee, that he has the nature of kripa. He wants to share. So the thing is that we also like is sometimes discouraged. Like if persons, whether it should be shared, if the intention is pure, like that. If the person who is sharing's intention is enough, or the intention of the hearer is also to be considered, Prabhuji. Because sometimes it is said that hearer is not qualified, so we shouldn't share. So can you please explain that when to share, what not to share, how to follow?
Both are required. The speaker should have the adhikar to speak what is being spoken, and the hearers also should have the adhikar, the qualification to receive that knowledge. For example, it is said that Shri Shukdev Goswami limited the Ras Panchadhyaya to just 5 chapters because Parishit Maharaj asked the question that how can the Supreme Lord meet with the wives of other men in the middle of the night and dance with them like this, apparently romantic way. So then Shukdev Goswami explains that Krishna is not a lusty man like an ordinary male of this earthly planet. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Everyone is Prakriti, and Prakriti is meant to be enjoyed by Purush. Krishna is Purushottam. Like that, Shukdev Goswami explains, but seeing the question of Parishit Maharaj, Shukdev Goswami understands that if Parishit Maharaj is asking this question, it is because he wants to give me a subtle hint that there are many yogis and others here, jnanis also in the assembly, who are not qualified to hear more details about the Ras Leela. So then Shukdev Goswami controlled himself and cut it very short. Only 5 chapters are Ras Panchadhyay in Srimad Bhagavatam out of 335 chapters. Only 5 chapters. So the reason is because not everybody sitting there was qualified to hear. So in Kurukshetra also, everybody was listening. So Krishna kept the instructions foundational, very beautiful, but very basic. But when that same Krishna comes as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and that same Arjun comes as Ramananda Rai, Mahaprabhu takes that discussion to such a high level because no third person is listening to them. Only 2 of them. The Brahmanas are not there, the associates are not there, nobody is there. Just Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Ramananda Rai. And they're speaking. So the level of conversation goes to Radharani, glory of Radharani, and the servants of Radharani. Radhadasyam. Up to that, the conversation goes. And then Mahaprabhu says, now there's nothing beyond this. He's completely satisfied. So that could happen because the hearer and the speaker were qualified. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would relish the deeper meaning of Srimad Bhagavatam and relish the poetry of Chandidas, Vidyapati, Bilwa Mangal Thakur, Jaidev Goswami, Ramananda Rai, only in the privacy of Gambhira, where there was only Swarup Damodar Goswami and Ramananda Rai. No fourth person was there. Whereas when he was with the people, in general, he would discuss Srimad Bhagavatam from Shri Gadadhar Pandit, but it was a normal Bhagavatam class, not talking about Radharani or Gopi Bhav or Manjari Seva. No. Because so many people are there. Maharaj Pratap Rudra was there. Sarvam Bhattacharya would be there. And other devotees also would be there. Other people also would come and hear from Shri Gadadhar Pandit. He had many disciples. So like that. And then Mahaprabhu is with public on the road. He would just chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra and speak about Nam Mahima, glories of the holy name for the Shraddhalu, the faithful devotees. So these are the levels of preaching depending on the audience. On the road where anybody and everybody can come, Mahaprabhu is talking about the glories of the holy name. In a general Bhagavatam class, there is general discussion of Srimad Bhagavatam. And at Gambhira, where there is only Swarup Damodar Goswami and Ramananda Rai, Mahaprabhu is talking about exclusively about the Ras Leela, exclusively about Brahmar Geet, Venu Geet. You can see in Chaitanya Charitamrita. So Prahlad Maharaj, Dhruv Maharaj Charitra is being discussed hundreds of times in the daytime in a temple in a public Bhagavatam class. But at night, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with Swarup Damodar Goswami Ramananda Rai is not discussing Prahlad Charitra. You can read Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita and see for yourself. That time they are discussing about the Ras Panchadhyay. They're discussing about Radharani. They're discussing about Radha and Krishna's pastimes together. Because that is Mahaprabhu's own relishment in the privacy of the highest association. So it's not just our purity and our adhikar, but even the audience has to have their adhikar. Like Jesus Christ says in the Holy Bible, there is much more I want to give you, but you are not ready to hear it. Whereas Arjun was a pure devotee. So Krishna gave him the full fundamental knowledge. And in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Yad Jnatva Neha Bhuyo Anyaj Jnatam Avashishyate. Nothing more will remain to know if you understand Bhagavad Gita. Because in essence, Krishna gave Sambandha Abhidaya Prayojan in Bhagavad Gita. It's given in a seed form. Krishna didn't elaborate. He says, Bharyatam Priti Purvakam. But what that Priti is described more in detail in Srimad Bhagavatam, and then Srila Jiva Goswami in Priti Sandarbha takes it to a whole different level. And Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur in the third division of Jaiva Dharma, Rasa Tattva division, he describes it in great detail. Srila Rupa Goswami takes it to the highest level in Ujjwal Nilamani and books like that. So it all depends on the audience and the qualification of the speaker. Both have to be considered. The speaker should be qualified and the audience should be qualified. Sometimes the audience is qualified and the speaker is not qualified so much. So then the speaker can say, I'm not qualified, I'm not practicing this, but this is what I have read and this is what I have heard from the pure devotees. And those words can be repeated. Like Narendra Malik, he told Srila Prabhupada, there's a very excellent sadhu, you must come and meet him. Narendra Malik was not a disciple himself. He was not following the teachings of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. He was not chanting 64 rounds. But, he didn't claim to be a disciple. He just said, this is a nice sadhu, I would like you to meet. Come. And he literally dragged Abhay Babu. And the rest is history. So sometimes we may not be qualified, but if the audience is qualified, they are eager. We should not say, well, I will not talk because, I am not practicing it. No, it's okay. You make a disclaimer that I am not qualified, I am not practicing it. But this is what I have heard. If you want more details, you can contact some genuine devotees. They will guide you. So like that. I hope this helps, Mataji.
Yes,
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you. You had asked this question on
First,
WhatsApp also, but it was a nice question, so I told you ask in the class. So thank you. This is the same question, no?
yes, Prabhuji. Yes.
Good. Thank you. Thank you for asking.
Now I understand the meaning of the word. The mercy is always there, whether you have the patra. So now I understand the meaning of this line also. Because hearer should also be qualified. We should also be qualified to get the highest mercy. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank
Yes.
you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So thank you, dear devotees. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur. Hari Bol. We will meet day after tomorrow. And we'll continue. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Thank you.